Hey everyone, Elijah here, Media Director at LMBC. We wanted to hop on here and give you all a quick update on some potential scamming activity that was happening towards LMBC members. Right now, the issue seems to be mitigated and it shouldn't be affecting everyone, but we wanted to give you all a quick update on what happened and then cover some specific online security measures we take and give you some tips, tricks, answer some questions about kind of some general online security stuff here. So without further ado, let's dive in. And on a few different occasions at LMBC, we have seen bad actors impersonate certain staff members or leadership at LMBC. And usually it is our lead pastor. And unfortunately, what will happen is you'll receive a message, an email, a text, a phone call, something along those lines, claiming to be from Pastor Jason, requesting cash, requesting gift cards, something of that nature. What we want to warn everybody about is, first of all, Lazy Mountain Bible Church is never going to reach out requesting money in any way. We won't be asking you for gift cards. But unfortunately, in these scenarios, what we've seen a few times is that it's been ministry leaders who get reached out to. So someone claiming to be Pastor Jason will email or text a ministry leader asking for gift cards for a volunteer appreciation event or something along those lines. And honestly, it's not that hard to fall for, right? Like we've had those moments, especially as a church where things are chaotic. We have to help each other out, get things happening. And we love that the heart of everybody is to serve and to help in that way. But we need people to be aware that there are some occasions where this activity is sinister in nature, unfortunately. It's really sad. We don't want this to be the case, but what we found is that bad actors have been able to find phone numbers, emails, contact information for people within the church. It's usually a very small number of people. It's usually the same people. It happens to a few different times. And so what we finally have narrowed it down to is we believe that the people that are doing this are getting this information from our communicators that have been uploaded and posted on Facebook. And so what we've done to kind of prevent that and mitigate that issue is we've gone back and we've cleared out the logs of communicators. We've locked them down. We've gone in and removed most of the posts. We already had a policy in place that we were limiting contact information that was being posted in the communicator, which is unfortunate because there are certain ministries that need to be able to share that, right? So imagine a Bible study where somebody says, hey, email such and such in order to sign up, or a volunteer event where we're helping someone at the church and we need to deliver meals. Hey, email this person if you're interested in helping out, they'll connect you. That's the kind of contact information that was being posted and listed in the communicator. And unfortunately, it seems like we're not going to be able to securely do that anymore. And so we're actively exploring other avenues. What we have done is we have limited now communications in that document to only being email addresses. So we're taking phone numbers away, and we've cleared the backlog. We've locked down a lot of that. We've made it so that non-account holding users at Lazy Mountain Bible Church will be limited in how many communicators they can look at in the backlog. And so we're trying to mitigate a lot of that. We've looked at our app, we've looked at our website, we've looked at all of our online systems, we've done audits, and we see no evidence that any bad actors have perpetrated anything against our online systems. So it seems like we haven't been hacked, we haven't been attacked in any way on our end. However, people have been able to go on public accounts, public pages, and scrape data, unfortunately. It's a pretty common practice these days, and there's not a lot we can do to prevent it other than extending our measures and just being overly cautious and removing a lot of things that we unfortunately are just going to have to remove. And so we've been making that effort over the past 3 days. This happened starting on Tuesday and actually Monday. This happened starting on Monday. And so we're just going through, clearing things out, making sure that we have secured all of our systems, and it seems like nothing has been hijacked or used in a malicious way, at least as far as our secured information. Our public data, it seems like has been looked at. With the rise of AI, honestly, it's shockingly easy to go through a lot of that kind of public data. And so keep an eye out, be aware, be vigilant. But if you haven't been impacted by this yet, our guess, based on everything we've seen and everything we've looked into, is that you probably won't be affected by this. However, if you are, please do let us know. We'd love to connect with you and make sure that everything is secure and safe on your end. And we've been actively monitoring all of our systems. We have third-party audits going on right now to check and make sure everything's good, just to make sure that all of our data is secured. And at this point, it seems that it is. That being said, let's talk about how we've responded to the situation. Like I said, we pulled communicators that were old. We've locked down all of our online systems so that you need an account to see most things now. We have taken all of the public data off of Facebook. We have locked down the server that we were hosting our communicator uploads on. We actually took away access to all of those. And we've also audited all of our online systems internally. So we've looked at our app, our website, our planning center, all of our services, how we use them. And we've made sure that they're all secured. We immediately alerted the public as soon as we were able. We did have to take a few hours in order to assess the situation. We weren't aware of how widespread it was at first. But because of the amount of time that it did take, we have implemented a policy now that we will alert people as soon as we find out that somebody outside of Lazy Mountain Bible Church staff or leadership has been affected by the situation. And so from here on out, if we find that someone in the church has received a message like that, the alert will be made public and we'll keep you all informed as to what's happening. So we made that first initial response comment post on Monday, and then we started monitoring our systems. We did the audits. We kind of narrowed down where the source of the data probably was, which was communicators. And we have now gone through and assessed, and we're having third parties audit our app just to make sure that we don't have any vulnerabilities. And a lot of this was over the top, I'll be honest. We didn't have to go through and do this to all of our systems, but we just wanted to double check. We decided to use this as an opportunity to make sure that we were being as advanced as we could be in our online security practices. We have implemented a policy for how we're going to maintain those practices and how we're going to check in on all this stuff. You can find that policy on our website as well. Additionally, we created a new tool to help you assess if a piece of communication came from somebody on staff. We call it the contact security check. You can find it in the app on the home screen, and we'll be adding it to the website soon. You simply open the tool and it'll ask you to verify yourself that you're not a robot, which we have to do just to make sure scammers can't misuse the tool. What you can do then is you can insert a phone number or an email address, and you can look it up in the system. It'll tell you if that belongs to a leader at LMBC or not. Now, just so you know, the contact security tool will not give you access to our contact information. You can't use it to look up staff members. All you can do is enter the phone number or email address, and it'll tell you if it belongs to one of us or not. The other thing that that'll give you is if it comes back with a red flag, you'll have the opportunity to report that number or that email address, and that report will come straight to us and we'll address it directly. Now, here's what you can do if you receive a communication like this. The first thing we'd like to ask, at least on our part, is that you just let us know. If you could shoot an email to media@lzymtn.com or office@lzymtn.com, or call our office at 907-745-2611 and just let us know, hey, I received a text, I received an email, someone claiming to be such and such asking for this. Just give us a heads up. You can also file those reports online using the contact security check tool. As far as some things to keep in mind for avoiding scams and just keeping yourself secure online, know that now it's actually pretty easy to spoof a phone number, an email address, or a name. So your caller ID might even say, hey, this is Jason, or hey, this is Elijah, or this is Stan, because people can actually impersonate full-on phone numbers at this point. It's relatively difficult to do, but not extremely, unfortunately. So that is something to keep an eye out for. Also, voices can be impersonated now with AI. Messages can be written in our tone, because a lot of what we do, because we're a church and we want to share who Jesus is made public, and we're not planning on changing that. So unfortunately, that does mean it's a little more difficult sometimes to tell when things are bad actors. And so one of the things you can do just to keep yourself safe is if you feel uneasy at all, you know our office number, you can find it on our website, you can find it in the communicator in paper. We have it readily available. You can call our office anytime just to double check if you're ever concerned. And if you have our personal contact information, you can also call us, because what they can't impersonate is your outgoing. So if you call our number, it's not going to go to somebody else unless they've stolen our actual phones or our SIM cards. And so you can always call the person directly if you have that piece of contact information. So the moral of the story essentially is always use direct contact information that you've used before, that you verified, that you have on record, if you're able to. And if you need to get that from us, call our office or email us, and we can definitely connect you with the right person. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is that anytime you receive a message, an email, anything written that has a link in it that looks safe, even if it looks like it came from like lzymtn.com, it might be lzymtn.co or something slightly different. So make sure you double check when you have anything suspicious in text or email or anything you're not like 100% sure of. Just go directly to our website or go directly to the website you're trying to go to. For us, it's lzymtn.com. And we do have a search function. You can find stuff on the website if you're not sure. And you can also, again, call, email, reach out to us and just say, hey, is this legit? We'd be happy to let you know. And the thing to keep in mind too is a lot of these like fake links that exist nowadays, it's pretty easy to impersonate an actual website. There are bad actors who will spend time actually building something to look exactly like its source material. So be aware of that, be vigilant. Please don't open links if you get it in a text or an email and you're not 100% sure of who it came from. The other thing to keep in mind with that is when you are getting a text, when you are getting an email or a phone call, look at the address always. Don't just look at the name. Especially with emails, it's really easy to just make up a name that'll look like it says from Pastor Jason Daughtry. And then you look at the email address and it's like crazy, insane, genius, 12387 at crazymail.ci. I don't even know. Honestly, there's all sorts of ways that this can be done. So just make sure you look closely at that address, look closely at the phone number, and check it against any contacts that you already have on file for us. A lot of the people we've seen targeted are ministry leaders because those are the people whose phone numbers are being put on the communicator, unfortunately. And so these are people who would hopefully have our contact information on file. But if you don't, copy that phone number, copy that email, make sure you get it exactly, and put it into our contact security check. And that'll give you an idea of who you're dealing with. One question I've gotten a few times is, can someone do harm to my device just by me opening a text message or an email? The answer, unfortunately, is yes. I'm not going to give too many specifics on that. Just be extremely cautious and know that it is unlikely that you will be harmed by opening an email or a text message. With modern technology, they've added some security around that, but there's always a chance. The chance is never 0% that you're totally secure, so do whatever you can to not open anything, to not click on anything, to not access anything that you don't fully know the source from, and keep an eye out for all sorts of communications that come from numbers, emails, anything that you don't 100% recognize. One of the ways that you can be hypervigilant in protecting yourself against that is simply by downloading an antivirus or web shield piece of software that can monitor all incoming links and all incoming traffic to prevent you from opening something that might be dangerous. I would recommend that for sure. There's a couple ones I recommend. Avast and Malwarebytes are both free, and they offer pretty comprehensive tools for being free. The one that's pretty much universally agreed on as being like the best option out there is called Bitdefender. I don't have much experience personally using that, but I've heard good things. There's Norton, there's McAfee. As long as you have one of those on your devices, you should be at least more protected than you would otherwise. And it is important to note that there are no devices that are totally protected from any of this stuff. And one of the common misconceptions is that Macs and iPhones are like can't be penetrated by certain attacks. And that's a lie, actually. There's actively malware that is attacking iPhones. There's actively spyware that can be implemented. So it's good to have some sort of antivirus on there. And I want to be clear too, I'm not trying to scare anyone with any of this. Unfortunately, what we're realizing is this is just the world that we live in, and we have to be aware. And so I'm trying to increase my awareness of it. We as a church are trying to increase our awareness of it. And we want to give you guys the tools to help you in this kind of scenario. I hope some of these tips are helping. Another one thing we wanted to mention in just protecting yourself is if you receive a callback request. That's one of the things that a lot of people think are secure, is that I can call this number and a phone call can't download viruses to my phone, and I'll have to talk to the person, so it must be real if I can talk to them and I hear them. And yes, like you can't download a virus off of a phone call necessarily, but there could be a malicious link planted in the phone number that sent it to you, unfortunately. Or when you call and it's a bad actor, there are AI models now that can just like impersonate voices, and they sound very realistic. And we have a live stream and we have content online, so unfortunately, that is a possibility. Keep an eye out for that. Be aware of that. Callback isn't always secure. If you want to call back, I would advise looking up the known contact information of that organization. Like if you were at Lazy Mountain Bible Church, you receive a callback, a text saying, hey, call me. This is Lazy Mountain Bible Church, call us. And they give you a phone number. You can just tap it and call it. Don't do the easy route. Go to lzymtn.com, pull up our contact information, and call us from that number. Make sure that you always have the contact that you've known, that you've secured, that you've used before as your go-to source for reaching out to that person. The same goes for links and URLs. If you get a website link that's like, hey, use this to contact us, don't necessarily just click on it. Go to Google, type in Lazy Mountain Bible Church, pull up our website, but make sure you go to the website, the source, the unknown contact, whatever it is, not just Google. Like, you know how you can Google and say, what's the phone number for whatever, and it'll show a number at the top. Unfortunately, those aren't always 100% accurate. So just make sure you go to the known source, go to the website, go to your contact, go to what you have written down, go to what you've known and called before, and reach out that way. This isn't just for our church. This is with any organization you're working with, anyone who's contacting you. Make sure you try to go to the source anytime that you're reaching out for these things. Avoid accepting calls from unknown numbers. Send them to voicemail. Let them say their piece. If it's from us, we will leave a voicemail most likely and allow you to get back in touch with us. If it's from Pastor Jason, he'll leave you a voicemail. If it's from me, I'll leave you a voicemail. Like, we're pretty vigilant about that stuff, or we'll contact you in another way to make sure it's secure. Keep in mind, again, we'll never ask you for money. We'll never ask you for gift cards. And if we do, we'll have a good reason for it, and you'll know about it probably in advance, and we'll connect with you in person to make sure that that transaction goes over successfully. But I can't think of a scenario where that would really happen. So if you get a message from someone claiming to be at LMBC, asking for money, asking for gift cards, ignore it. Please call us directly, email us directly. You can find our contact info again on our website, lzymtn.com. Make sure you use that contact security check feature in the app. We'll again put that on the website soon, just to give yourself an extra layer of security and check in on those things. We hope these tools are helpful. We hope some of these tips are helpful. If you need help or have been recently affected by something like a scam or a fraudulent activity, please contact us. Let us know. You can email me, media@lzymtn.com, or call our office at 907-745-2611. Thank you and have a great day.